What's going on, everybody? It's G Walker from the CNG podcast. Man, I got a special guest, the special of all special guests in the building right now. My guy, Nick Roti from Just Another Year Chicago Bears, man. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on my platform right now. I just want to get up here, talk Bear football with you, man, and pick your brain on what you think about the season, the offseason, everything in that nature, trades, cuts, restructures, all of that stuff, man. So how you been, bro? How you been?
Yeah, I've been good, man. Honored to be here. Super excited. I know that we've been trying to make this happen for the last couple of months, but we finally found a time that worked. And I'm excited to talk Bears football because there's a lot to be excited about. And
Right.
I know that obviously they're not playing in the Super Bowl, but we were 2 games away from it and we're ahead of schedule. So I'm pumped to be here and thanks for having me.
Man, thank you for coming. So just what's your thoughts on the overall season? Like, where did you take off at for the season? And like, where did you land at the end of the season?
Yeah, so I mean, at the beginning of the year, I knew that this Bears team was obviously going to be better. I think we all knew they would be at least better than 5-12. They had just beat the Packers in the final game of the 24-25 season. Ben Johnson, big draft, a lot of big additions to the team. And what kind of makes this team interesting, to say the least, is that, you know, there was no prediction of what they could be. Some people said, 7 wins tops. Some people said 9 wins tops. I always had the Bears winning 10 or more. I thought that with the division the way it was, Minnesota losing Darnold, Ben Johnson leaving Detroit, and Green Bay not really making any drastic improvements, I thought that this Bears team could keep up with the rest of them. And I landed exactly where I thought they would land, you know, making the playoffs. I was definitely high on life when they won the NFC North, you know, that finally the claim of we're going to take the North and never give it back was there. And then also just making it to the divisional round against the team that almost went to the Super Bowl and arguably the most well-rounded team in the NFL this past year. So I am stoked how this season went. We all should be too. This team has got a lot ahead of them with 38 guys already under contract. But yeah, no, great season overall. And I'm feeling great about this team moving forward.
Yeah, man. It just everything was dramatic. Everything was a heart attack this year, man. So what do you attribute that to? Like, why was it everything was such a heart attack, such a survival football? You know, the first halves were donuts sometimes, not a lot of points. But we get to the second half, we turn it on. So what's your thoughts on what was the reason why I just started off slow? What do you think?
Everyone's learning a new playbook. This is an entirely new team, entirely new system, and it's as much scripted as it's not scripted. And they're just kind of shooting from the hip, what's working, what's not. Every single game was an experiment. If you noticed in the playoffs, Ben was doing what was working for this team. He wasn't doing any more experiments. He was doing things that this team had success throughout the year, and that was a complete game. And that's why they were able to keep up with the LA Rams, to keep up with the Green Bay Packers. Think about it. The Bears could almost be playing in the Super Bowl right now if a few plays went their way. Maybe a few different calls as well, but we're not there, but we're going to be there eventually. And this team in the first half, that's when Ben was experimenting. Okay, that flea flicker worked. This one didn't. We need to work on this in practice, and here's why, and here's what. Mm-hmm. So this entire year was an experiment year, and it was the best experiment year it could have been. The Bears now moving forward, though, have to find a way to make sure that they do not take their foot off the gas pedal. They need to pound it through the floor now. They need to be like, okay, let's be even more aggressive because now we got more that works for us. This team is gelling together. Now we can really experiment in certain situations, but get out in the first half, get a lead, make it fun and also comfortable that you can take those kind of risks versus doing them later in a game, which do work and make it all stressful for us. So that's kind of where I think 26, 27 is going to be.
Yeah, because I'm watching the game. It's a lot of guaranteed yards. Caleb Williams could have ran more. He could have threw out to the flat more. You know, so what are your thoughts about, you know, because sometimes when I watch the game, I'm just thinking, you know, we need to play a little bit more boring football, a little bit of let's walk them down a little bit slower. So, you know, we do a lot of third downs and fourth downs didn't go our way. So do you expect this next offseason, like we're just going to hammer down on the details and slow it down a little bit, or do you just expect them to just completely be aggressive? Do you think Ben Johnson, as aggressive as he is, do you think he's learned from that? Like, you know what? Let me slow it down a little bit. What are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. So I think it's going to start out slow again. I think the first 8 games of being slow, the first 2 games will be slow, and then he's going to just rip it. I mean, that's what's, I think, going to happen this upcoming season. I think Ben has learned a lot. Like, like we were kind of talking about the details a little bit, but also the main focus is going to be the defense this offseason anyway. Bears have 7 picks at the moment. They still could get those compensatory picks from the NFL, which is still on the table. I don't want everyone freaking out about that. Like, there's been no official statement from the NFL that we're not getting them, so that it's still out there. But with the Bears,
what's the latest on that? What's the latest on that, real quick?
So according to the latest reports that I've seen, Matt Ryan yesterday during his time out in California getting interviewed by CBS, I believe it was, he said that Ian Cunningham, this is his ship, he's guiding it, he's just a fly on the wall. So the Bears practically could take that and be like, this is clearly a promotion. Clearly Ian Cunningham is in charge of this 53-man roster, and we deserve those 2 picks. Could it be appealed? Sure. I mean, you can appeal anything these days, but we won't find out till late March if we are for sure getting those picks or not. We could find out sooner, but the NFL doesn't give out that list anyway. And that was from Alyssa over at Bears Wire. I found that out. So shout out to her for finding out the official timeline of that, but they're still up in the air. And Matt Ryan, the way he's talking about it, I see the Bears still getting the picks. I think the NFL, because of the fact that with the Rooney Rule, and that was a big conversation this past week with Roger Goodell out in California, that they have to be considerate of that, and they need to be like, this is an interesting situation. How are we going to make this better for next time? Well, making it better would be giving the Bears their picks, because technically it still is a promotion. Even though he's not the primary football executive, it is a clear promotion just because of the severity of Atlanta's depth chart when it comes to their corporate structure. So that's where I stand on it. I think the Bears still have a very good shot at getting the picks, though.
So everybody here right here, you see Nick gave us the scoop on that right there. So paying attention, by March we'll get some more news. So let's get to the fun stuff, man. Caleb Williams, man. A lot of people are still questioning him about him being generational and him being this, he's not that. But in your own estimate, man, because I can be a cynical person, analytical person to a fault sometimes, and I gotta believe it to see it. Like, I just gotta believe it. But I've been very impressed with what I've seen from Caleb in the first 2 years. 68 sacks. His numbers are going up considerably every year. So just what's your thoughts on Caleb Williams this season, and what do you think he's got better at the most at this young period of time in his career?
I want to go to a subject that just grinds a lot of people's gears for some reason, is his completion percentage. It was at 58 this past year, and the expectation was 70. First of all, 70 is outrageously high. Yeah. That's a very high bar. But also, you got to consider the fact that, one, he had some of the most drops in the NFL by his receivers, and he threw it away way more than he did last year. Way more. So his growth of being smarter with the football, getting rid of it versus trying to make a play was put on presentation, even though that's going to hurt his completion percentage. That's okay. I would rather have that than him just be darting it downfield and be like, oh, yeah, that didn't work. That's an interception, because we saw that in the playoffs. That's where those bad habits came out. He was under pressure, and unfortunately, he folded a little bit there. That being said, some of them weren't his fault, but it is the playoffs. Defenses are going to play harder. So that's one area of growth that I saw, was that he was much smarter with the football. We didn't really hear about any fumbles that Caleb had this year. He had a couple last year. He was much smarter rushing the football, saw an open gap to the outside, took it himself, sliding. Sure, he didn't get a lot of late hits, but at the end of the day, he's still going out there and getting yards himself. He's being smarter at not looking at just one receiver the whole time. We saw that in the beginning of the season. At the end of the season, he was scanning the whole field. So we saw the progression overall. That's what you wanted. And Caleb just made a ton of growth there. And the stats don't lie. I mean, over 3,900 passing yards, first in Chicago Bears history. So good for him. I'm very excited about that. But he didn't get the 4,000. That's okay. He'll get it this year. But he showed a lot of growth for sure. Yeah,
because one thing I learned about Caleb, and I want to know how you feel about this. Like, he has such a special arm, an electric arm. Like, he doesn't need to be perfect. He can get you to the 20 in like 2 throws. So it's like, as much as people hammer on the completion percentage, his arm is so good that we can get to the 20 to the 25 to the 30 in a couple of throws, man. So do you think he's that special of a quarterback to the point where it's like he's just an eraser, like he's the equalizer?
Yeah, I think so. I think Caleb's got everything in a bag of chips that you want in a generational type quarterback. You're going to tell me some of the throws that he made, like to Cole Kmet or DJ Moore, were possible by even 50% of other quarterbacks? No, he's up in the 1% when it comes to athletic ability, vision, and toughness. I mean, Caleb took a lot of shots this year, and he still was able to get back up and keep going. I think that there are some tweaks there. You got to remember, it's only his second year. I mean, he had a terrible rookie year, and he's got JT Barrett as his quarterback coach. He's got Ben Johnson as his play caller / head coach. There's going to be progression there. And he finally had an offensive line, so those jitters of always being afraid of getting sacked, he got out this year. He trusted his guys, and also he's Houdini. He was able to get it done himself. So, yeah, I see Caleb Williams being a generational type quarterback. We're only in year 2, but if you look at the stats, I mean, he has less than 20 interceptions, almost has 50 passing touchdowns. He has well over 6,000 passing yards, and you give that guy, a 20-year career. You look at those stats, he's going to be up there with some of the Hall of Fame legends if he just keeps up at this current pace. I'm not worried about him. He's going to be just fine.
Yeah, well said, man, because every time I look at his stats, it's always he's up there with Patrick Mahomes. He's on something there with Josh Allen. He's up there with Lamar. He's not over there with Matthew Stafford or Sam Darnold stats or any other B-line quarterback. He's up there with the guys that are considered generational. So when people tell me or I hear this, like, are you seeing the things he's doing? Are you seeing him breaking Bears records? Are you seeing him tying records? Are you seeing him get the most attempts as a rookie? Are you seeing him throw under 20 interceptions his whole career? So I'm like, what more does he have to prove to show to people that he's a generational talent? Yeah. So it's just cool to see, man. I just want to get your thoughts on that. And I also want to get your thoughts on, the other guys on the team, Colston Loveland, Rome Odunze, Kyle Monangai. These guys pretty much rated on PFF as the highest graded rookie class in all of 2025, man. They're like, we got a couple of blue chippers. So who's been your biggest surprise in the rookie class, man? Wasn't anybody you just was like, I didn't see this coming, and like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad we got him. Like, what do you think?
I was most shocked by Colston Loveland, I'll be honest with you. I was a big Tyler Warren guy, and I was like, I don't know about this Loveland kid. He's hurt. Like, Bears took him. Then you watch his tape in college, and you're like, okay, he's a pretty good player. I was blown away by what he was able to do and the progression he was able to do it. Close second is Kyle Monangai, 7th-round pick out of Rutgers. They're starting to produce some NFL talented guys, but Kyle Monangai was able to just burst onto the scene. It wasn't even like, he's going to take a second to get ready. It was pedal to the metal the second you gave him the opportunity during the New Orleans game. And I was beyond impressed with what he did. So I'm super happy with Kyle Monangai. Luther Burden, we expected that out of him. He was a projected 1st-round pick by a lot of mock drafts. And then along with that too, Ozzie Trapillo. We knew he was a solid player. He impressed, though, being able to move from right to left tackle. Overall, though, it's Colston Loveland for me. I was super impressed by him, and that's why he was a number 10 overall pick, and Kyle Monangai's close second.
Yeah, because I was looking at it. He was so impressive because a lot of people wanted Warren. I did too because I thought Warren was going to be a little bit better. I'm looking at it. He's younger than Tyler Warren. He's probably a little bit faster. I've looked at Colston Loveland. He can beat safeties. He can beat corners. He can beat linebackers. Like, you can literally put him anywhere in the field. He could beat any skill group position on defense. And he had his best game of the year in the playoffs. So I would say Colston Loveland, even though he missed a little bit of training camp and all that stuff, and he still came along strong. That Cincinnati Bengals game, I always thought, like, you know what? This is the game where Caleb kind of grew up a little bit. He trusted his arm a little bit, and he trusted the rookie tight end a little bit. And they took off after Rome got hurt. So that brings me to my next question to you. Rome has the foot thing going on, and we would hate to see the offense and everything keep moving along, because to me it looks like the primary target that Caleb is comfortable with is Colston Loveland. And Luther Burden is looking like he can emerge as maybe the number one, receiver, or, I don't want to say that type of things, but, Colston, like, he's the number one pass catcher. Then you got Luther coming up and Rome being hurt. So just what are your thoughts on Rome Odunze this year going forward with the injury, and how does he really going to fit where you think he's going to fit into the offense going forward?
Yeah, Rome's an interesting one. He started off the season so hot with 5 receiving touchdowns in the first 4 games, and then you saw that quick decline. And really, I believe that he played injured most of the year. Going into him, I think that obviously Ryan Poles drafted him at number 9. You're not going to get rid of a guy like that. And also, the Bears have a great problem. You have a 3-headed monster in the wide receiver room. It's kind of like the Bengals. And also, it's Antoine Randall L's first year working with all 3 of those guys. DJ Moore wasn't used to being in the mentor role. Luther Burden, very talented player. We started seeing it going later in the season than in Rome. We don't know because he started hot. Imagine if he didn't get hurt. Who knows what the season he would have had been. So I think the Bears don't bring back Zaccheaus. I think that he's going to hit free agency. I think that the Bears will keep Ja'Day Walker for another year because of being an undrafted rookie free agent. They can kind of do what they did with Ozzie Trapillo and make him a restricted rights free agent, which that means that the Bears can keep him on a league minimum, so 1 year, $1 million contract. And that's your 4 wide receiver monster. Maybe go out and draft one if you want, but The Bears have opportunities to go out and get other cheaper players. Zacchaeus had drop issues this year, but Rome, you can't get rid of him. He's got 2 years left on his rookie contract, and the Bears can keep him around for quite some time. His first 2 years weren't incredible, but you look at those first 5 games again, man, it showed promise. So Bears have a great problem having a three-headed monster. They're all under contract together for at least the next 2 seasons. Exciting stuff, to say the least. I think that room's going to stay together for a long time.
Well said, man. Then that makes me think about the other situation, DJ Moore and Caleb Williams, man. We all saw the play, and I said that play is going to hunt us from the now until we probably get back to the playoff, the interception at the end of the game.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts about that play at the time? Because we were marching, and Caleb threw the Hail Mary, Jesus Christ touchdown to break their back. You know what I mean? He broke their back right there. I'm thinking we're going for the two-point conversion. Right. We're going for the 2-point. We don't go for it, man. We come back, we stop them, get a crucial stop. The defense was balling that game. Like, that was the best game the defense played all year long. But we get the ball. It's a throw. It's a play call for a throw. Interception at the end of the game. And it's going crazy on social media. DJ didn't run his route. Caleb didn't do this. And it's miscommunication. And it's like just going forward, like, you know, we hate to see that. But what do you think about that particular play at the end of that game, man?
You know, DJ, Ben, and Caleb all said it was miscommunication, and I'm going to ride with that. I'm going to ride with that into the sunset. And if that's what it was, that's what it was. You haven't seen something like that out of DJ Moore all year. You never saw him give up on a play. He was tough as nails. He played hurt all year. You've never seen DJ give up. That's why when I looked at that, I was like, yeah, I think in the moment, of course, I was like, dude, what are you doing? But then you go back and look, and then you're like, okay. Clearly something was off because DJ looked around and was like, oh, no. It wasn't like he just put his head down and was like, yup. Like, no, he knew something was wrong. Mm-hmm. That's where I stand on it. It's a miscommunication. DJ Moore is also not going anywhere. You don't sign that guy to make over $26 million a year and then trade him 2 years later to then take on his caps to continue to pay him probably for the first year unless some crazy team's willing to take it on and mess up that relationship with your rookie now third-year quarterback. And no, he's staying. He's happy here. Give him another year. I already put it in my last show, or was it last night? Whatever show it was. I already put on it and stamped it. DJ Moore, 1,000-yard receiving in 26-27. He's going to have a massive year.
Yeah, because I love DJ, man. Like, I have my issues with him. Like, sometimes, you know, his body language could be off this. He could be pouty, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, man, DJ comes back in the game. He has, like, a healing factor. He's like the Wolverine. He just comes back in. He gets hurt. He comes back. He's the leader of the wide receiver room, man. It's like he's still important, and the chemistry still is so important for Caleb in his offense to keep him on the team because how much are you sold on Luther Burden going forward as the one wide receiver? How much are you sold on – you know, Rome getting healthy? Like, we still need DJ, you know? Yeah,
we still need him. I mean, Luther is not proven yet. I mean, he's got big plays, but that's because he's going on wide or cornerback 2 or 3. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going against their best guys every single time. I mean, I'm sure Luther could do it, and that's not a shot at Luther. I think he's a fantastic athlete and could be a wide receiver one day for the Bears. But right now, I mean, he's still got a lot of development to do, and that's why your rookie season is your rookie season. He'll be just fine. He'll be a monster in the next couple of years.
Awesome. So let's get forward to talk about some of these cuts, man. We know everybody's not going to be able to stay on the team, and everybody's not going to be able to see us, you know, host that Lombardi Trophy down the road, man. It's just sometimes you get to a team where you could be on the beginning of the roster, where you get there with Ben, he drafts you in your first year, you get to your second year with a new coach. But some guys have been here 6 years, some guys have been here 4 years, 3 years. So who is on the team that you know, like, you know what, we got to let him go for cap space, and who is hurting your heart, like you don't want him to go? Like, I love him, but we might have to it might be time. What you got?
Like, you're asking who I just is going to break my heart when I see him go?
Yeah.
Man. You know, it's just the NFL is a business.
It is, man.
Unfortunately, it's going to be, I mean, I'm going to miss Brisker. I like his swagger. I think he's a solid player, but that's not a cut. A cut would be like a Tremaine Edmonds. A cut would be like a DeAndre Swift. I think it's going to be Swift, to be honest with you. And I have pounded the table saying, no, do not get rid of him. He even said he loves this group of guys over on Radio Row. I believe CHGO had that one. I love DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
But as Tony Sapita, you know, one of the guys here, just another year, has always pounded the table telling me, you do not spend money on running backs unless they are the Walter Paytons, the Adrian Petersons.
Right, Adrian Peterson's right.
And unfortunately, DeAndre Swift's not that. I mean, like, this was a career year for him when you finally give him a top offensive line. And the Bears, there's a ton of running backs that the Bears could go out and get in later rounds. I would get rid of Rashawn Johnson and Travis Homer. Yeah, absolutely. You can't rely on them. But I think Swift, because of how much money they can save at a position that they can replace with a very similar, if not better player through the draft, I think he's going to go. Tremaine is tough, though. Tremaine's super tough. You're saving a ton of money, over $15 million cutting him in the season he had. But does he fit in Dennis Allen's scheme is my problem.
Right.
Is this going to continue? Is the success going to continue? So that's where I stand on it. DeAndre Swift's going to break my heart, though, when I see that name pop up. If he stays, though, oh, my gosh, I'm going to be ecstatic about it. But I think that his name's going to get cut.
Oh, man, DeAndre Swift, he had a career year, man. You got Cole Kmet, you got Jaquan Brisker, then you got guys you got to kind of want to pay, like Nate Scheinwright. I'm looking at the money for him. I'm seeing that the money – because you got to think you got to pay Darnell Wright, man. And I think Ryan Poles pretty much already came out here and said he wants Kevin Byard back. Those two guys are going to get probably rid of 3 or 4 guys. You know what I mean? Just off of you have to pay them. You know what I mean?
Tremaine's contract, and I was talking about this with Adam Rank. Tremaine's contract alone, you cut him. That pays for DeMarco Jackson, who was NSE Defensive Player of the Week against the Browns.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Key depth piece linebacker. I'm not saying he's a starter. Maybe you go out and draft a linebacker, or you make him the starter because he worked out. But then you use that money to also bring back Kevin Byard. That is your number one priority. I don't care if you have to, start selling, jerseys, off the market just to get some cap money in here in order to make sure that you are paying Kevin Byard. He is staying. I don't care. Hot take, like a big name. If you had to trade him, not a DJ Moore, but somebody else, I can't think. Kyler Gordon, or you have to sit Kyler Gordon down and be like, yo, you got to take a cut because you weren't around last year. That is who you pay. You pay Kevin Byard no matter what. Locker room, all pro, Pro Bowl, wants to be here, will probably take a discount to be a part of a winner, and just put something in his contract and initiative that gives him a big bonus that isn't against the cap. That's where I stand on the subject. Can't get rid of Kevin Byard. You
can't really get rid of Kevin Byard, man. It's just some people got to get paid. Like Darnell Wright is our all-pro tackle, right tackle. You got to pay him. Byard is the captain in the secondary, man. We need him. Like, Jalen Johnson is question mark sometimes. You got Tyreek Stevens is a question mark sometimes. It's just like, we need this guy to stay on this team. So, I want to move forward and ask you about this. That just brings me to my next part of the show, man. Is just the draft, man. The defense got to get better, man. So, what's your thoughts on Billings and Dexter and getting guys in those trenches, man? Because I'm kind of nervous, Nick. I'm not going to lie. Like, building up the trenches because we haven't really done it like we needed to be doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Austin Booker coming back was great. You saw Montez Sweat take off a little bit with him. Dio, we are like, what did we do here? And I said that when we signed him. I'm like, okay, that's cool. $15.6 million. Yikes. I think that the Bears are going to take an edge in a defensive tackle within the first 3 rounds, whether that be first and third, second and third, first and second, something along those lines. They will be addressing that. Andrew Billings, I don't think is coming back. To my knowledge, he is a pending free agent, and I do like Andrew Billings, but his age is starting to catch up with him. He is a penalty problem, and he hasn't been the same player he's been since tearing that pec back against the Commanders. He was definitely more quiet this year. I think that Andrew Billings will probably end up hitting free agency. The Bears will take someone younger. Javon Dexter, though, he's entering the last year, I believe, of his rookie contract. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he is, right? Yeah. So he had a good year from getting after the quarterback, but man, the amount of missed tackles we saw in the rush, and he can't be a one-man show. Grady Jarrett wasn't really 100% till week 10 or 11, and Chris Williams is a depth guy. You can bring him back on a 1-year, $1 million contract, but the Bears have to address that defensive line room. I think Andrew Billings goes. I think you bring in a rookie that can pair with Javon Dexter for the future. Javon is on his tryout year.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works out. If it doesn't, he did have a career high in sacks, which is good, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to stop the run. But yeah, I think the Bears are going to have to go all in on a defensive tackle, whether that's the first or second round this upcoming draft. And then edge is so deep this year, and we have Austin Booker starting to cook. I think we'll be fine. And also Trey Hendrickson, but we'll see.
Yeah, because Trey Henderson, you can get him as a free agent. You don't have to give him too much draft capital and all that type of stuff. You just come on, give him probably $50 million for 2 years, something like that. But then it's the linebacker position, man. You got TJ Edwards who broke his leg, bro. You got Tremaine Edmonds who looking like he's not going to be here. So that linebacker core has to get upgraded. You know what I mean? We got to get guys that can run east to west, because it seemed like when I was watching games, guys were just running past our face. Like, go this way, we're just chasing. Go that way, we're just chasing. So Anybody you're looking at in the draft that you want to see as a policeman, as a linebacker? A couple of them.
Who? Linebacker. I'm really set on bringing back DeMarco Jackson, and I think he could take over. What was it? Chad Banks from University of Texas San Antonio. Jacob Infante's talked about him a few times, and I've become a big fan of him, drafting him later. He's like a Ruben Hippolyte type player. Mm-hmm. We still don't know about Ruben, though. Like, I would like to see Ruben get his opportunity. He could be a heck of a player. And that, 3 snaps that he was in versus the Steelers before getting hurt, he was flying all over the place. So I want to see what Ruben has. I think that there was a plan in place for that. There aren't too many linebackers in free agency that the Bears could go after. So it is an interesting situation, but they will have to either draft or sign somebody this year. And especially, I think they have to re-sign DeMarco Jackson.
Yeah, because you got C.J. Gardner. Then you on the other end on our team, we got Zay Frazier coming back. You got Terrell Smith coming back. So I think the secondary will be fine if we let a couple of guys go. But are you beating the table for C.J. to come back or what?
100%. That guy is a locker room asset. He's an on-field asset. And with Kyler Gordon, the way he's always injured, you have to bring somebody back that is going to be an instant impact or is going to be a great depth piece. So 100%, you got to bring him back. What a year it was. And hopefully he looks at it and is like, hey, Houston's still paying me some money on my old contract with them. I'll take a hometown discount to be here, because he loves being here. And he even commented on a Instagram post. He was like, stop spreading false information that I'm leaving. So it sounds like he's pretty confident that he's going to be coming back.
So the running backs, man, we love Calvin Nunn guy, but are you getting a running back, man? Because Swift will be gone. But so what do you think about their running back room?
You have to draft. You have to draft a running back. I think that the Bears are probably. I would love to see Britton Brown on the active roster. I think that guy is so underrated and underappreciated. 6 foot, 210 pounds. He's a big bully running back. Did a lot better than Rashawn Johnson and could stay on the field. I think that it would be another late round pick. I think it would be probably a 5th or 6th round pick for the Bears this year. But if we get those comp picks, that kind of switches stuff up what the Bears do. I still don't think maybe them 4th, but overall the Bears have to draft another running back this year. To pair with Kyle Monangai, 2 rookie contracts in your room for the next 3 seasons is pretty electric. So that's kind of where I stand on it.
Gotcha, man. So is there anything you want to just speak on real quick? We got 4 minutes left, man. Anything you want to speak on before we get up out of here, man?
No, I think that Bears fans need to know that this offseason is going to be a little bit more quiet. I think that it's going to be very draft focused. We have 38 guys under contract already. Usually bring 90 guys into camp. Most of them end up getting cut anyway. Don't expect Nashawn Wright back. I think that he knows his worth and he's going to get paid, even though he has expressed he wants to come back. The Bears have higher priorities at the moment. Yeah. But I think that it's going to be a very quiet offseason, and get prepared for a lot of mock drafts, get prepared for a lot of trade backs or trade ups or anything like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think that the Bears, though, are going to be, it's going to be who's going to be our next OC, and then we'll see what ends up happening. But this is going to be a quiet next couple of weeks for Bears fans until free agency starts. So everyone relax. Go watch the Bulls. They have about 40 second-round picks.
3,000 guards.
3,000 guards. Who was it? Rock Pins tweeted, we're at Guard Mart. I was like, I love that.
Right.
Go the Blackhawks. There's other
Cubs are coming back. The Cubs at spring training, so we got some things we can focus on,
Yeah, that's what I'm pumped for. That Cubs look great this year, but right now, the Bears, I think this weekend, after this week, you might hear a little rumbling from the Bears about what happens after the Super Bowl. But then from after I'm calling it out, after Valentine's Day till March 1st. So that 2-week span, it's going to be super quiet around Bears content and Bears news. So just get prepared for that.
Man, I love it, man. So so my final thoughts is, man, I really appreciate you coming onto the platform, man. I've been knowing you for a while now, and I know you're a busy person, man. I've been a fan of yours for a while, man. So it's always cool to get up here and talk to people that before I even got into podcasting, to, pick their brain, man. So this has been a true gift, man. It's been a true honor to share the digital area with you, man. And hope we continue to do some work down the road, man. So with that being said, I'm G Walker. This is from CNG Podcast. This is Nick Roti from Just Another Year Chicago, man. Bears, man. If you don't know who this man is, man, you're really not a Bear fan. You're really not a Chicagoan. You're really not tapped into Bears culture on Twitter, man, and YouTube, man. This guy puts out great content. He's always working around the clock, and I appreciate it, man. He's a grinder like me, so I see myself like him in a way, just being a grinder, getting stuff out there, man. So it's an honor to have you on, man. Anything else you want to say before we end this, man?
No, thank you so much for having me. What a great way to enter the weekend. Just a fun show. And make sure that you guys hit that like and subscribe button on the channel right here. Let's grow G Walker's following. I love his stuff too. And I'm honored to be here and excited for what's next.
All right. Bear down. G Walker, Nick. Just another year Chicago. We out of here. Peace. Bear down.